Welcome back, coin collectors, numismatic explorers, and anyone who's ever wondered if the spare change sitting in your drawer might be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of Australia's 20-cent coins, a denomination that might seem ordinary at first glance, but has proven to contain some of the rarest, most sought-after, and most valuable coins in the country's decimal history. In fact, a few select 20-cent pieces from different years and conditions are now commanding staggering prices in today's action-packed coin market. These coins aren't just relics of the past, they're living pieces of history, and for many collectors, they've become prized possessions worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you're a seasoned collector or just someone who found a shiny 20-cent coin and got curious, this is the video you won't want to miss. Let's get started. First up, the 1981 Australian 20-cent coin has started to emerge as a sleeper hit in the world of modern numismatics. Even in rusty circulated condition, this coin is drawing new attention for its unique history, intriguing mintage quirks, and, yes, its surprising market potential. You may have handled it dozens of times without a second thought, but after this, you'll never see it the same way again. Let's start with the historical backdrop. The year 1981 wasn't just another chapter in Australia's numismatic journey. It was a year that saw massive demand, cross-mint collaboration, and some surprising production outcomes. Due to an exceptionally high need for coins, the Royal Australian Mint outsourced production of 20-cent coins to two international mints, the Royal Mint in Lantricent, Wales, and the Royal Canadian Mint. Yes, that's right. Your 1981 20-cent coin might not even have been made on Australian soil. This decision would not only mark a fascinating logistical moment in Australian coin production, but it would go on to birth one of the most talked-about varieties in modern decimal coin history. Now, let's turn our attention to the design, a masterwork of elegant simplicity and national character. The reverse of the 1981 20-cent coin features the famed platypus, gracefully gliding through stylized ripples of water. This stunning image was sculpted by the legendary Stuart Devlin, whose fingerprints are all over Australia's decimal designs. The platypus is an emblem of Australia's unique biodiversity, and its fluid movement across the coin's surface speaks to both grace and strength. Even in a rusty, heavily circulated coin, you can often still make out the shape of its bill, the swirl of the water, or the fine detailing of its fur. That's how iconic and deeply etched this design truly is. The obverse, of course, bears the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II in a right-facing portrait designed by Arnold Machin. Her serene yet commanding profile is flanked by the words Elizabeth II and Australia 1981, creating a bold and balanced visual. What sets this year apart is the subtle difference in strike quality and alignment depending on where the coin was minted. Australian, Canadian, or British versions can sometimes be identified by minute details in lettering thickness or edge patterns, making them a thrilling playground for detail-oriented collectors. Now let's talk specifications. The 1981 20-cent coin follows the standard dimensions for the denomination. It weighs 11.31 grams, has a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin is round, not scalloped or polygonal, with a milled edge. The copper-nickel alloy gives it a silver sheen in uncirculated condition, but as we know, many coins from this year now show signs of age, especially in rusty circulated condition, where environmental factors like moisture, oxidation, and handling over decades have left their marks. Still, that patina doesn't necessarily lower the value. In some cases, it adds intrigue, especially when the coin has unusual striking patterns or error characteristics. Now here's where things get really exciting: value and rarity. The Royal Australian Mint reports that more than 158 million 20-cent coins were struck in 1981, making it one of the highest mintage years. But here's the twist. Among this flood of coins, several extremely rare and valuable varieties and errors have emerged, particularly those minted in Canada. Known as the Canadian Mint Error 20-cent coin, these pieces exhibit a thicker rim, larger overall diameter, and sometimes even a double bar behind the platypus's head. If you happen to own one of these rare Canadian-struck variants, you might be sitting on a coin worth $100 to $300 Australian dollars, even in circulated or rusty condition. In uncirculated form, some examples have reportedly fetched well over $500 Australian dollars in online auctions. Even standard 1981 20-cent coins in very fine to extra fine condition can fetch between $1.50 and $6 Australian dollars, while coins with unique patina or interesting oxidized colorations, like dark toning, rust-red edges, or unusual discoloration, can appeal to artistic or niche collectors, bumping up the value another notch. But it's the errors that truly electrify the market. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, rotated dies, weak strikes, and doubling errors have all been reported in 1981 coins. Any one of these errors, especially when confirmed and graded, could boost your coin's value into the hundreds of dollars range. Now think about this. You may have one of these coins right now, slightly rusted, edges dulled, but still heavy with potential. That dirty 20-cent piece you brushed aside or nearly threw into a vending machine could very well be the Canadian error coin, or a rare rotated die strike, or even a low-quality off-center piece that today's collectors will fight tooth and nail to own. And as Australia's interest in modern coinage and decimal-era rarities increases, so too does the future potential of this humble 20-cent. There's also emotional and historical value to consider. Coins minted while Queen Elizabeth II was reigning are gaining significant traction in the wake of her passing. Collectors around the world are seeking coins with her portrait from all years, especially those that bridge international collaboration or contain known anomalies. That makes the 1981 coin, a year of multinational minting and high production complexity, a standout player in the story of Queen Elizabeth's numismatic legacy. You might be holding a rusty circulated 1981 20-cent coin and thinking it's worth, well, 20 cents. But dig a little deeper. Look at the edge, check the weight, feel for an off-center strike, or run your fingers along the surface for die errors. That coin could be part of the Canadian mintage, or one of the low-profile errors slipping past detection for decades. In that moment, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a piece of history, a symbol of craftsmanship, economy, identity, and yes, real monetary value. This isn't just a numismatic journey, it's a treasure hunt. And in this treasure hunt, the winners are those who pay attention to the small things. Like a rusty old 20-cent coin from 1981. Because sometimes, the richest stories and the greatest fortunes come wrapped in the dull glow of a coin that the rest of the world has already forgotten. Next up, the 1982 Australian 20-cent coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another piece of spare change, but for the seasoned collector, this coin is a sleeping giant, particularly when found in excellent condition. Its enduring design, its unassuming mintage year, and its surprising collectible value combine to create a modern-day treasure that could be hiding in plain sight, perhaps in your drawer, in your wallet, or resting at the bottom of a forgotten coin jar. Today, we unveil the secrets of this remarkable coin and explain why it might just be your ticket to a fortune. The year 1982 wasn't just another date on the calendar, it was a period of transformation across the globe. For Australia, it was a year of cultural milestones and economic transition, and as always, the nation's coinage quietly echoed that narrative. The 1982 20-cent coin, minted by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, was part of the continuing legacy of Australia's decimal system introduced in 1966. By this time, the 20-cent denomination had become a daily fixture in Australian life, used in markets, machines, and moments. But 1982 added a twist. It was one of the final years before several subtle changes would affect mintage methods, styles, and future collector patterns, making it a cornerstone of interest for keen-eyed numismatists. Let's start by appreciating the aesthetic brilliance of the coin. The reverse design, created by the world-renowned Stuart Devlin, is a visual masterpiece of movement and grace. At its center is the iconic Australian platypus, an animal as unique and enigmatic as the country itself. The platypus swims elegantly through stylized water currents, its curves and ripples creating a dynamic effect that brings the coin to life. Even decades later, a 1982 20-cent coin in excellent condition will showcase this design in crisp, detailed relief. The texture of the fur, the sleek body line, and the flowing water lines all preserved in near-mint clarity. It's a small work of art that speaks volumes. On the obverse side, you'll find the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, portrayed in the Arnold Machin portrait used between 1966 and 1984. Her likeness is clean and classically poised, flanked by the inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1982. The balance between this dignified image and the dynamic platypus reverse gives the coin a symmetrical, collectible charm that is only enhanced when preserved in high-grade condition. The fields, flat areas, surrounding the designs, when unblemished, form mirrors that glisten under light, making these coins pop in presentation sets, collector albums, and auction listings. Let's now break down the physical specifications that make this coin distinct. The 1982 20-cent coin has a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, a thickness of 2.5 millimeters, and a weight of 11.31 grams. It is made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, forming a lustrous copper-nickel alloy that gives the coin its unmistakable silvery sheen. The coin is round with a milled edge, which provides grip and also serves as a deterrent to tampering. When held in the hand, the coin feels dense and durable, built to last, and ready to reward those who recognize its hidden potential. What makes the 1982 edition especially compelling for collectors is its solid mintage number paired with its underappreciated rarity in pristine condition. Over 49.1 million 20-cent coins were minted in 1982, which on paper seems quite high. But here's the twist. Due to their heavy circulation and the lack of a commemorative design that year, most 1982 coins were used, abused, and discarded over time. That means finding one in excellent, almost uncirculated condition today is surprisingly rare and increasingly valuable. And now we arrive at the part every collector, investor, and treasure hunter wants to hear: value. A standard 1982 20-cent coin in circulated condition might only be worth face value, or slightly more, perhaps 30 cents to $1 AUD. But in excellent or near uncirculated condition, with brilliant luster, no scratches, and a bold strike, the value climbs substantially. These coins can fetch $10 to $30 Australian dollars from collectors who specialize in building full high-grade decimal sets. If the coin is professionally graded, say MS64 or MS65 by PCGS or NGC, the price can exceed $50 Australian dollars or more at auction, particularly if there is strong eye appeal or proof-like qualities. Then there's the error coin market, which can skyrocket values into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. While not as frequently discussed as other years, the 1982 20-cent coin has had reported off-center strikes, double dies, planchet flaws, and even weak edge reading. These types of minting errors transform an already attractive coin into a highly sought-after rarity, with some examples going for $250 to $500 Australian dollars depending on condition and clarity of the error. Add in a provenance story, like being part of a private collection or a discovered hoard, and the numbers climb even higher. The 1982 20-cent coin also carries a kind of sentimental rarity. It was minted in the early 1980s, a nostalgic era for many Australians, filled with cultural milestones like the Commonwealth Games in Brisbane and the global expansion of Aussie cinema and sport. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of that vibrant, formative time. For collectors, this era is increasingly seen as vintage decimal, and coins from these years are being snapped up while still affordable, especially in top condition. That means market demand is rising, and supply, especially of high-grade examples, is shrinking. That's the formula for future wealth. So, where does this leave you? If you're holding a 1982 20-cent coin in excellent condition, you could be in possession of a hidden gem. Not only is the coin physically impressive, historically significant, and aesthetically pleasing, it's also a key piece for anyone aiming to complete a full collection of Australian decimal coinage. And if yours shows even the slightest sign of error, double striking, or off-center production, it could be a one-in-a-million find, one that transforms an everyday object into a life-changing asset. In the world of coin collecting, success favors the curious, the patient, and the observant. And that's why the 1982 Australian 20-cent coin deserves your full attention. It may have slipped quietly through your hands for years, but today, it demands to be seen. For what it is, for what it represents, and for what it might one day be worth. This is more than a coin. It's a gateway to the past, a beacon for the future, and possibly, just possibly, a ticket to becoming a millionaire. Next up, the 1999 Australian 20-cent piece, a seemingly ordinary coin that, when found in excellent condition, can hold extraordinary value. Behind its smooth silver glow lies a narrative of elegant design, overlooked scarcity, and rising collector demand that is slowly turning this quiet decimal warrior into one of Australia's most underappreciated numismatic treasures. The 1999 20-cent coin emerged in a year poised on the brink of a new millennium, a year filled with anticipation, transformation, and transition. While Australia was gearing up to celebrate the year 2000 with special commemorative coinage, the coins minted just a year earlier are now gaining increased attention from savvy collectors who recognize their strategic place in the timeline. The 1999 edition was part of the standard circulation series, but was issued in relatively limited quantities compared to other years, and that difference, combined with age and usage, has elevated its status in today's action-packed coin market. On the surface, the 1999 20-cent coin retains the classic beauty that defines Australia's decimal era. The reverse, designed by the brilliant Stuart Devlin, features the beloved and iconic platypus, captured in motion as it swims through stylized waves. The lines of the water swirl with grace, while the platypus glides with a natural elegance that brings balance and energy to the coin's face. In excellent condition, these design elements leap off the coin with sharp relief, unblemished brilliance, and a silvery luster that reflects not just light, but value. The obverse side showcases the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Raphael Maklauf. This regal profile was used from 1985 until 1998, but interestingly, the 1999 coin still carried the Maklauf effigy, even as the newer Ian Rank Broadley portrait was introduced in some denominations the following year. This makes the 1999 version part of the closing chapter of the Maklauf era, adding subtle but important historical weight to the coin. The Queen's image is finely detailed, with the soft curls of her hair, the royal tiara, and the inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1999, arching around the perimeter. In high-grade examples, this side shines with distinction, and collectors prize those coins that maintain full luster, zero scratches, and minimal contact marks. In terms of specifications, the 1999 Australian 20-cent coin holds true to the standards of its denomination. It has a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, a weight of 11.31 grams, and is struck in copper nickel, a durable and attractive alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Its round shape and reeded edge give it a classic, tactile quality that is both familiar and dignified. The metal composition ensures a long life in circulation, but it also means that coins can easily lose their mint luster through wear, making pristine examples from 1999 increasingly rare and valuable in today's market. So what makes the 1999 issue particularly significant from a collector's standpoint? For starters, mintage numbers were surprisingly modest. Only around 16.6 million coins were produced that year, a fraction compared to the dozens of millions issued in previous and later years. That alone gives the 1999 coin a competitive edge in rarity. Combine that with the fact that most of these coins were heavily circulated, and the pool of coins in excellent or uncirculated condition becomes alarmingly small. That scarcity is driving demand upward, especially among collectors who aim to assemble full high-grade decimal collections, making the 1999 edition a key piece for completion. Now let's dive into what every collector and treasure hunter is waiting for: the market value. In circulated condition, the 1999 20-cent coin is still commonly found in wallets and piggy banks, and it generally trades between 25 cents to 50 cents AUD. But the real excitement begins with coins in excellent, very fine, or uncirculated condition. Examples that maintain brilliant surfaces, strong strike details, and minimal wear can fetch between $5 and $20 depending on the exact quality. If the coin has been professionally graded as MS63 to MS66, prices can reach $50 or more in the right collecting circles or auction environments. But there's more. The error coin market has also revealed a few 1999 20-cent pieces with minting anomalies, including off-center strikes, cut breaks, and die clashes. These types of errors, while rare, transform the value landscape entirely. A cleanly struck 1999 coin with an obvious and well-documented mint error could be worth $150 to $400 or more, depending on rarity and condition. In some cases, specialized buyers have paid even higher premiums for dramatic errors on this overlooked year. Beyond numbers and grades, there's something poetic about the 1999 20-cent coin. It sits on the cusp of the millennium, symbolizing the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. In this context, it has become more than just money. It's a historical marker, a collector's milestone, and a beautiful relic of Australia's numismatic journey. That emotional resonance, combined with the coin's physical quality and relative scarcity, makes it the perfect storm for future appreciation and value. So what does this all mean for you? If you come across a 1999 Australian 20-cent coin in excellent condition, don't overlook it. Study the surface. Check the detail. If the coin gleams with silver luster, if the queen's crown and the platypus's ripples are sharp and clear, if the edges are crisp, then you may be holding onto a quiet giant. A coin that could grow in value, a coin that collectors crave, and maybe, just maybe, a coin that could make you a millionaire if the market continues its upward climb. The 1999 20-cent coin teaches us something profound, that true value is often hidden in plain sight. While others ignore what looks ordinary, the informed collector sees opportunity, art, history, and investment potential wrapped in a tiny circle of metal. So search your collection, check your change, and treasure every coin you find. Because in the world of numismatics, even the most unassuming coin might just hold the key to unexpected fortune and unforgettable legacy. Next up, the 2013 Australian 20-cent coin, a coin that, when found in very excellent condition, reveals a rare and remarkable story that could one day make you a fortune. The 2013 20-cent coin may not immediately dazzle at first glance, but take a moment to observe it closely under the light, and its beauty begins to unfold. Minted by the Royal Australian Mint, this coin carries forward a timeless design, a living, breathing symbol of Australia's wild heritage and numismatic tradition. It is a coin that respects its past while quietly carving out its own modern place in the market. And as more collectors scramble to complete perfect year sets and high-grade decimal collections, the 2013 issue has found itself skyrocketing in interest and desirability. Let's start with the reverse design, which showcases the classic and beloved platypus, swimming gracefully through stylized ripples of water. This artwork, designed by the legendary Stuart Devlin, has graced the 20-cent coin since decimalization in 1966. But what sets the 2013 edition apart is its crispness of detail and limited pristine survivors. In coins graded very excellent or uncirculated, the platypus glides effortlessly through shining ripples that shimmer under light. Each line is sharp, each wave defined, and the platypus itself bursts with animated charm. In coins untouched by circulation, the depth of engraving and the mint-fresh gleam can be absolutely mesmerizing. On the obverse, we find the fourth official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This version of the Queen, introduced in 1999, is striking in its realism, her face appearing older, wiser, and regal. The portrait is framed by the familiar inscription, Elizabeth II Australia, 2013. In very excellent condition, her tiara sparkles, her hair curls retain depth and texture, and the fields behind her remain clear and mirror-like, free of scratches or bag marks. This crisp presentation becomes a badge of honor among collectors who seek nothing less than numismatic perfection. Now, let's get technical and talk specifications. The 2013 Australian 20-cent coin is struck in copper-nickel, made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a solid, silvery tone that resists corrosion and maintains brilliance with proper care. It has a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, a weight of 11.31 grams, and a reeded edge that gives it a tactile finish. The coin is round, bold in hand, and feels substantial, like a coin that matters. And in the right condition, it absolutely does. Here's the turning point. Although millions of these coins were minted, the number of surviving examples in very excellent, brilliant uncirculated, or mint state condition is shockingly low. Why? Because like most modern circulation coins, these were immediately used. They passed through stores, bus fares, vending machines, and wallets, suffering scratches, wear, and grime. Only a small percentage were preserved by collectors in pristine form. And it's this small surviving population that's driving up both rarity and dollar value in today's collector marketplace. In terms of current market value, a typical 2013 20-cent coin in worn, circulated condition still holds its face value, or maybe 30 to 50 cents AUD if it's slightly better. But the story dramatically changes with coins in very excellent condition. Those with full luster, sharp strike, and zero wear can fetch between $5 to $15 among collectors building high-grade year sets. Graded MS64 to MS66 specimens have even achieved prices of $30 to $80 depending on demand and eye appeal. Error coins or extremely well-preserved examples in sealed mint bags could reach even higher. What makes this coin especially exciting for future value growth is its position in the modern era. Collectors now seek full sets of decimal coins from every year, especially high-grade examples. The 2013 edition is increasingly seen as a key modern sleeper because its mint-condition examples are so much harder to locate. Additionally, the passing of Queen Elizabeth II has added a new layer of sentiment and urgency to coins bearing her image, especially coins struck within her final decade. There's also a growing global interest in modern Australian coinage, particularly from collectors in Asia, Europe, and North America, who admire the unique wildlife and artistic elegance of Australian designs. The platypus, unlike anything else in the animal kingdom, adds an exotic flair that international collectors adore. As this demand spreads worldwide, prices could escalate even more rapidly. What was once just a silver coin in your wallet may soon be the centerpiece of a global bidding war. But perhaps the greatest magic of the 2013 20-cent coin lies in its message, the idea that treasure doesn't always glitter obviously. Sometimes it hides in ordinary moments. In a drawer, a purse, a forgotten jar, and it waits for someone with knowledge, vision, and curiosity to uncover its worth. That someone could be you. So check your change. Inspect the edges. Look for shine, clarity, and flawless details. Because that single coin you pull from your pocket could very well be a $50 plus gem today and a multi-$100 rarity tomorrow. And who knows? As collectors continue to chase complete pristine sets, the 2013 coin's value might just explode into the stratosphere, turning a humble 20-cent piece into a life-changing, portfolio-launching, millionaire-making miracle. Let this be your call to adventure in the world of coins. Because when you understand what to look for, every coin becomes a possibility. And the 2013 Australian 20-cent coin, with its smooth curves, timeless design, and under-the-radar scarcity, might just be the smartest coin investment you'll ever make. Next up, the 1976 Australian 20-cent coin, especially in very fine condition, is turning heads across collector communities with its rising value, striking design, and intriguing place in numismatic history. This might just be the 20-cent coin that could make you a millionaire, and today, we'll explore exactly why. Let's begin with the background and heritage of this historic piece. The year 1976 was a transformative time in Australia, culturally, economically, and politically. The nation was growing more confident on the world stage, embracing its identity while still honoring its British heritage. In the world of currency, decimalization was just over a decade old, having replaced the old pounds, shillings, and pence system in 1966. By 1976, the Royal Australian Mint had fully embraced the decimal series, producing coins that would become household staples. Yet among these, the 20-cent coin stood tall as one of the most visually unique and artistically rich in the lineup. At the heart of the 1976 20-cent coin's design is a creature found nowhere else in the world, the platypus. This egg-laying, water-loving, duck-billed mammal has become a true symbol of Australia's one-of-a-kind wildlife. The reverse design, created by the legendary Stuart Devlin, captures the platypus mid-swim, surrounded by ripples of stylized water that swirl elegantly around its body. It's a fluid, dynamic composition that has stood the test of time and remains one of the most recognized and beloved designs in Australian coinage. In very fine condition, the platypus appears almost in motion, with its bill, body, and tail all clearly defined. The ripples show depth, and light dances off the metallic fields, giving the entire reverse a shimmering, textured elegance. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the obverse side bearing the regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait shows the young queen wearing a laurel wreath, a symbol of victory and honor. The words Elizabeth II Australia in 1976 encircle her, preserving a royal dignity that anchors the coin firmly in its time. In very fine condition, the queen's facial features remain sharp, and the relief retains its subtle contours, offering collectors a striking, well-balanced coin on both sides. Let's break down the technical specifications, because these details matter greatly to collectors and investors alike. The 1976 20-cent coin is made of copper-nickel alloy, a mix of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a resilient, corrosion-resistant surface. It weighs 11.31 grams, has a diameter of 28.52 millimeters, and features a reeded edge that not only helps deter counterfeiting, but also gives it that tactile authenticity. This is a coin built to last, and when found in very fine or better condition, it carries with it a tangible sense of quality and strength, something that modern coins, often mass-produced and poorly preserved, can rarely match. Now, here's where things start to heat up: the rarity and collector demand. While millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, the number that survive today in very fine condition or higher is surprisingly limited. That's because most coins from 1976 were heavily circulated, tossed in change drawers, and used for decades. Only a small percentage escaped the wear and tear of everyday life. In recent years, as collectors have turned their focus to assembling complete high-grade year sets, demand for mid-1970s coins, especially the 1976 20-cent, has soared. Coins from this era in top condition are being snapped up fast, and values are reflecting that surge in interest. So what kind of dollar value are we talking about today? Well, if you've got a 1976 20-cent coin in worn condition, it's probably only worth its face value, or maybe 50 cents to $1 at most. But in very fine condition, values start climbing significantly. A well-preserved 1976 coin can sell for $5 to 15 Australian dollars, depending on the strike quality and surface condition. Move into the realm of extremely fine or uncirculated specimens, and prices jump to $25, $40, even up to 80 Australian dollars or more in private auctions and online coin markets. In sealed mint rolls, or as part of legacy collector sets, some examples have crossed the 100 Australian dollars mark, and international collectors are joining the hunt too. But it gets even more exciting when we consider error coins. Like all minting processes, errors sometimes occurred in 1976, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double rim impressions. If you happen to find a 1976 20-cent coin with one of these rarities, even in slightly lower grade, you could be sitting on a piece worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. Beyond market value, the emotional and historical significance of the 1976 coin adds another layer of collectability. This was a coin used in the hands of a changing Australia, through payphones, lunch counters, buses, and corner stores. Each surviving coin carries that living history. Owning one, especially in very fine condition, is like holding a piece of Australia's daily life from nearly 5 decades ago. It's a story, a relic, and a work of art all in one. And as more people become aware of the rising worth of old coins, the opportunity to cash in on coins like the 1976 20-cent piece won't last forever. Every day, new collectors enter the scene, while older coins vanish into private collections, never to be sold again. The laws of supply and demand are clear. As availability shrinks and interest grows, prices are destined to rise, possibly to jaw-dropping levels in the coming years. So, here's the takeaway. Don't ignore that old 20-cent coin you might have written off as pocket change. Examine it closely. Look for clean surfaces, detailed platypus engraving, and sharp edges. If your 1976 coin has retained its shine and shape, you may already have something highly valuable, something that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. And if you're lucky enough to find one in mint or uncirculated condition, you could be holding a potential $100 plus prize, with future growth that could exceed expectations. In the world of coin collecting, it's often the overlooked gems that offer the biggest surprises. The 1976 Australian 20-cent coin, in very fine condition, isn't just another piece of metal. It's a symbol of national pride, timeless design, and growing financial potential. And for those wise enough to recognize its value early, it just might be the coin that changes your fortune forever.